database? So you're sending emails to your database with an example of that picture, for example, or how are you using that for your database?
Yeah, I just send an email out to my customers and just go, have you ever thought about doing this? Here's an example of what I could do.
And how effective is that for you? Do you get a few replies to that every time you do that? Or?
Yeah, I probably get, on a percentage, probably about 5 to 8% reply coming back.
How do you maintain the quality?
The first thing is you just got to teach them the quality that you want and just check that, that they're working to your standards. Every job I send photographs to the customers. Every single job. So when I do my invoice, and there's always photographs attached to the invoice. Not only show them the job has been done, but there's a documented, time frame of when I turned up. Just like gyms want with the national contracts, they want time and date stamp photograph. Yeah. I do that with every one of my customers. It also shows the quality of work. I have a rule within my business model. It's called the 1% rule. And as every time we turn up, we need to find one thing to make the place better than when we started.
So Scott, thank you very much for joining us today on the Jim's Mowing and Jim's Grip podcast. We appreciate you coming on. And I remember meeting you at training because we did a video with you at training and we asked you about your reasons for joining Jim's Mowing. And so it's good to be able to check in with you. So how long have you been going for now and how's everything been?
Well, first year I started on the 1st of March, 2025. I think I did the training the last week of February. That's when we met and did that quick video. So literally I'm coming up now 12 months, almost 12 months. Things are going good. Very busy.
So how's the first year of business been? Because that's always the toughest year, first year of business, doing something new. So how have you found everything?
An eye-opener. Eye-opener. But the funny thing is when I came out of training and I came back home to sunny coast in Queensland, 1st of March, we got hit by the cyclone. I don't you guys remember that the cyclone was coming through southeast Queensland? So I sat at home for the first almost 7 days, rain, looking out the window. What a way to start. But it gave me an opportunity to sit down, set up systems, go through all the training notes, think about my marketing plan, my business plan, what was I going to do, talk to some fellow colleagues out there about how they handle things, look at some alternatives that I wanted to look at in terms of my admin accounting system, make sure all that was set in place. And then really started with one client who was unique. I remember her. I think we always remember the first client. Her name was Ruby. She'll always be etched in my mind forever. Probably the hardest client I ever had to start off with. But then 1 becomes 2, 2 becomes 4, 4 becomes 8, and off you go. And yeah, you just plow through winter. That was the first thing, getting through winter. Everyone said winter would be hard. It was challenging, but you find ways to get through it. And then just carried on. And then spring comes, summer comes, growth season comes. Things get busier and busier and busier. And yeah, all your marketing plans just come to fruition.
Let's talk about your plan then. So how did you, what was in your plan? So I'm sure people listening like to know what is your plan for yourself and how did you execute it?
So I guess jumping back a little bit, I came from a long tenure in a corporate background. So financial planning and logistics were very high in my, I guess, skill base. And when I came into gyms, I had to think, how am I going to get this business running? And the first thing I thought about, some work is better than no work, and some money is better than no money. So you got no idea how to price. You think you do, but you don't. But then you got to think, okay, well, I've got to get a job. Don't quote it too high, don't quote it too low, but you learn very quickly what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong. And that's why I say some work is better than no work and some money is better than no money. And then you start to build your business model initially on that. But ultimately, where I wanted my business model to go was very different. And then, I had aspirations that I wanted a certain type of client base at a certain dollar value. I knew my numbers pretty well in terms of my costs and what I wanted to be paid. And then I just pushed slowly everything in that direction. Took time. It's still taking time. And then as you get closer to that, you review your business plan, and no disrespect to those lovely clients, but you replace the old with the new and you start to manipulate it. And for the term they talk about route planning and density of route, well, it's the same financially. You've got to make sure that you've got the right mix of clients financially. And that's what I focused on.
That's great advice because that's business advice, isn't it? So you're really looking at your client list and where you want to maximize and increase the value and get it to a way you want to get it. And if you have to move clients on and all that sort of stuff, that's what you've been doing.
Yeah, you don't move them on. And please, that's not meant to be disrespectful.
Yeah.
you negotiate potential price increases with them.
Okay.
But you have to accept that some will say no.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard out there at the moment for clients. I mean, discretionary income is very difficult. I mean, we see this ourselves. So some will accept price increases, some won't, and you just live with it. But you've got to follow your business plan and model, and that's what I've done.
Yeah, and that's really smart, because a lot of franchisees sometimes struggle raising prices or doing that, and they might not do it for 3 to 4 years and then, try and do it. So you're very meticulous about doing that, and I've got to do it, and hopefully some will stay, but there's some might go, but that's the business I need to get to, and that's the rates I need to get to.
Yeah.
I was going to say, because some people feel weird doing it. That's why I'm love hearing this from you, because you come in really early and that's the vision you've had for it and being able to do it. Where some franchisees might get 5 to 6 years in and then realize they have to start doing it. It's very hard for them sometimes. So it's a good practice to do from early on.
Yeah. And I think it's super important to, and I say this term, know your numbers. You've got to really know your costs, and you've got to look at them all the time, because your costs will change as your database increases. This is a funny game. It's a game of tools.
Right.
You cannot have enough tools in this game. Trust me, you want one thing, then you want two, then you want 3 chainsaws, then you want 4 blowers and different types of things. You want petrol, you want battery, and you need long pruners, and it's ironic, but it's a man's game of tools, and trust me, you work it out. But again, you got to know your costs and you got to know your numbers, and I cannot emphasize enough that keep looking, reviewing your numbers. Are you making money? Are you making the right margins? And as you put staff on, there's another whole complexity.
So you've got staff at the moment, or?
I do indeed. Yeah, I've actually I got full-time employee, and I have 2 casual employees that I work. They work predominantly on the weekends, and then I also use a lot of subcontractors.
Right.
I do a lot of subcontracting back to gyms.
Okay. Do you want to talk about that a bit, because that's interesting for people to know? So talk a little bit about that aspect of your business.
I guess so. One of the things that happened was when I started, I was the only franchisee within, I guess, my geographical area, and some of the other franchisees didn't have the leads on. There was a benefit to me. My business grew. It also grew through hard work, pounding the streets, networking, and a variety of other avenues. Then what happened is, as my business grew, then I started to realize, well, I wasn't ready to put on a full-time employee, but I could handle a casual employee, particularly on the weekends. And I looked at the differences between subcontracting through an ABN or just as a casual employee. But then as Dan was putting on more franchisees, I saw that they were always looking for work. So I thought, well, why not reach out to them and use them as a source for me? So when they went busy, I said, well, what are you doing this week? They go, oh, look, I'm free Tuesday and Wednesday. They go, well, look, I got a couple of jobs that I'm struggling to get to. Can I give them to you? So we would agree on a price and a split. Some money's better than no money. We'll get back to that terminology. Some work's better than no work. They get some skills, some training, some expertise. I get to outsource the work. My clients are happy. They're happy. Yep. Everyone's happy.
It's a good initiative that you've done there, and that obviously helps out you guys too. And you've got the work and you've got the business skills to manage it, which is great to hear as well. And you do a beautiful part of the world, Tawantin. I've been went up to a wedding in Noosaville for the first time I've ever been there, and I know Tawantin's next to it, so you've got a beautiful part of the world there. So, question that's a little bit unrelated, off topic: how do you deal with the heat up there? Like, obviously doing this in the heat, how did you go with that adjustment? Because coming from a corporate background, I can imagine being in the office and stuff too. This would have been a big shock to the system.
Yes and no. Look, I came from air-conditioned office, air-conditioned car, luxury life. I spent a lot of years with Coca-Cola, so it was a pretty crazy lifestyle. But I love the heat. That's one thing. I've always been outdoors, and I love the heat. So my attitude, the hotter the better. I was a duck to water, so yeah. You're
the first person I've ever heard say that. So I've done this for a long, long time. So it's great to hear.
Yeah, so just the only thing my downfall is sunscreen.
Right. You got to use that.
The guys nail me, the wife nails me, the kids nail me. You got to put sunscreen on.
And then how was the body overall? Like, did it take you 4 weeks to get adjusted? And it takes guys sometimes a while to get to it. It was okay?
I was straight because I came from a pretty good sporting background, and I was training heavily, so I was super fit to start with. So I just jumped in and carried on. But in saying that, going to the gym, running, whatever you do, and being mowing fit or gardening fit, whatever you want to call it, being gym fit, 2 different things. two different things. Trust me, when you're on the mower and you're doing 18, 20 Ks of walking and,
Yeah.
green waste removal, whatever you're doing, you come home and you know you've done a workout, you're pretty naked. So
Yeah.
here's something for you. I have not been near the gym since I started. For 12 months, I have not set foot back in the gym. I've just been too busy and too tired.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's amazing to hear that sort of stuff. And you'll probably be the first franchisee I've interviewed who said they love the heat. So you're probably the one in 2,000.
Yeah.
And I was going to say then, so with your business currently, how many sort of regulars do you have, and what's your client base sort of look like?
Okay, so I knew you were going to ask this question. So I want to preference by saying this, that in the last 8.5 weeks, 9 weeks, I've had the great privilege. I've actually brought a second franchise.
Ah.
So I've now got 2 franchises. So I've got Tewantin South, and I've got Sunrise Beach. So I guess, bit off a bit more than I can chew, but I'm handling it. So combined overall right now, I'm looking at, I've got over, and these numbers are pretty accurate. I've got over 80 regular customers on a 2 or 3 weekly service, and I've got over 120 customers. These are regular customers, over 120 regular customers between 2, 3, 4 weekly service.
Yeah.
And some are all like mowing, some are on gardening, whatever they may be. But I'm pretty busy. And hence why, I'm working 7 days a week with employees, with casuals, and subcontracting work out to other gyms at the same time.
And with the types of services you're offering, is there a particular type that you like to focus on just purely from it works for your business more? Like, do you like to do garden and maintenance stuff, or what do you sort of aim for in your business in terms of the service mix?
When I started, I was anything and everything. I wanted to learn, so I just jumped in. I did gutter cleaning, garden maintenance, garden cleanups, lawn mowing, acreage mowing. Got a funny story behind that one there. Took on a client doing acreage mowing on my little 42-inch mower.
Oh.
Realised it's a little bit too small for the job. Also trying to do steep slope mowing on my 42-inch lap bar, trying to kill myself. Again, learning experiences. But over the period of time, my business model, I try to stick to just standard mowing and garden cleanups, garden maintenance. I make sure that I'm skilled in other areas. The one thing I love doing is gutter cleaning, eaves, roof cleaning, not roofs on top, but underneath the eaves and the gutter.
Right.
I love doing those cleanings. It helps with the quality of the house and the maintenance.
You're the first franchisee I've ever heard in mowing say they do that. So is that something which how do you get that when I've never heard anyone else mention this before. So underneath the gutters around the eaves, you do all under there.
Yeah. So I either hand wash them or pressure clean or something.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, and you use a little bit of soft chemical to do them. Sometimes you need a bit of elbow grease to get them off. But again, when you're building your database of customers and all this eventuated winters and winters, like how do I generate more work in winter? I mean, you can only do so many lawns when it's wet and the grass isn't grown. So I was looking around and going, well, your gutters need cleaning, and I'll get up there with a little rag and the thing I'll show them. This is what it could look like. And they'd go, oh, wow, okay, let's do that. And then they'd go, wow, and you take a photograph and you'd send it out, and there's another business opportunity that you just pick up. And again, you get good at it. And then you think, okay, now that we move into winter, or you're into autumn and winter. So I'm looking for what's the next bit of work that I can fill the gap as my lawn schedules change. So, gutter cleaning, eave cleaning, garden cleanups, the normal tree pruning, etc.
And you mentioned the word database. So you're sending emails to your database with an example of that picture, for example, or how are you using that for your database?
Yeah, I just send an email out to my customers. Yeah, and just go, have you ever thought about doing this? Here's an example of what I could do.
And how effective is that for you? Do you get a few replies to that every time you do that, or?
Yeah, I probably get on a percentage, probably about 5 to 8% reply coming back.
Yeah. That's extra money just from sending that one email, which is great.
Yeah, which in a group, I try to look at different systems to use for bulk emailing, and I mean you can pay for them. Yeah, but I just use Outlook. I just dump all my clients into it, and I do it as a BCC, a blind copy, so no one else can see what's going.
It's important to do that.
Yeah, so just by the way, heads up, don't just send everyone's email address.
No.
Yeah, but I do that, and I just say, by the way, here's an opportunity. This is some other things that I do. Here's some photographs of the work that I do. If you're interested, do this. Yeah.
The reason why I ask you that is because it's a great little bit of advice, and not enough franchisees do it, is email their customers regularly and don't assume that your customers know everything that you can do.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. And I also offer the free coffee card. I call it the free coffee card. So with customers that as we are transitioning, or even some customers that I want to convert from, say, 3 weekly mow to 2 weekly mow, and they go, I can't afford it. I say to them, look, your lawns do need to be mowed on a 2 weekly basis. It's too hard on me. It's too hard on my equipment. Yeah, it takes us too long to do it. I don't want to put your prices up. But how about what I do is that if you convert to a 2 weekly mow, every 5th mow, I'll do it half price. So I'll do one free. Like if they're a senior citizen, I may offer it free. I may offer them at 50%. So I offer little incentives to my customers to try and convert them. I found that works.
That's a great strategy. Yeah. So how effective is that? You mentioned it works for your business. So how effective is that? Because that's a really good strategy. I've never heard anyone say in these interviews before, which is great for us. We can use this for training material to help people. So that's a great opportunity. So you're not going to, you give them that incentive, which is probably too good to refuse, and they're going to just go to the schedule that you need.
Yeah. And it's been very successful for me. I mean, I did one the other week with a customer and, offered them the free mow. And I actually brought the free mow forward because the lawns were so long. And I said, let me mow forward, bring your lawns under control, and then convinced her to go from 3 weekly to fortnightly, same price. But yeah, I mean, obviously I get more mows for the same price. So it's more money in my pocket, and the lawns look better for her, and it's way easier on my equipment and my body and my staff. So it's more satisfying. So yeah, it's actually a very easy conversion to do. I call it the free cup of coffee, or the incentive, buy 10, get 1 free.
Yeah, that's a great business idea. So I'm glad you shared it with. So thank you for that. And I was going to say as well, managing a team is always a trouble for a lot of people, finding good people and managing it. So how do you go managing your team effectively, and any advice you got around that?
I've got no hair. This is a great question, Joel. I can only talk for where I am geographically. Sunshine Coast, Noosa, Tewantin, very, very difficult to get staff here. And when I say difficult, it's incredible hard. You've got to pay good money, but you've got to keep that within your budget. You have to make decisions about, what do I want as my staff member? Do I want to deal with transient backpackers that are going to come and go? Or do I want a long-term employee? I've been fortunate so far that I've had 2 long-term employees. And when I say that, one stayed with me for 4 months, one stayed with me for 3 months. Sadly, I've just lost one. He's going back to WA. So I'm in the process of re-recruiting again. It makes me nervous because the quality of applicants out there are not good. You're trying to train them, and not only are you trying to train them to the skill base that you want them to be, the ethos that you run your business under, but it's a representation of Jim's, my business, to the client. It's like, well, how much time do I put in if this person leaves? And if a client sees your turnover of staff, it can be disruptive in your relationship. So it's very, very, very hard to find and maintain good staff up here. There's no magical answer. Yeah, you just got to go. But what I want out of a staff member is literally not only for them to sit beside me in a car, do a great job, train them how to do the job, the synchronization of, we can jump out, rock, paper, scissors, who's mowing, who's brush cutting, who's grabbing the blower. We all start together, we finish together. It's a seamless integration. But I also want to be able to say to them, look, I need to go do paperwork. Here's your list of jobs. There's the car keys. I trust you to go do the job to the standard that I want. So that's the difficult part. And saying that, I've got one casual employee that I've had since a month after I started, and he's been with me the whole time. So he works very tirelessly with me on the weekends. And he actually allowed me to take 3 weeks off work and go overseas to Bali. So I managed to get a bit of a holiday before the growth season really kicked in. So but he's been with me the whole time.
And the quality control, that's always a problem too for people to try and maintain. So is it just literally you're out there with every day and they just know the standards and then you give them the trust, or do you make them send a photo in every job, or how do you maintain the quality?
The first thing is you just got to teach them the quality that you want and just check that that they're working to your standards. Every job I send photographs to the customers.
Okay.
Every single job. So when I do my invoice, and there's always photographs attached to the invoice, not only show them the job has been done, but there's a documented, I guess, time frame of when I turned up, the time and dates. Just like gyms want with the national contracts, they want time and date stamp photographs. Yeah. I do that with every one of my customers. It also shows the quality of work. Yeah, and then it's just something that we demand. But I need to preference by saying I have a rule within my business model. It's called the 1% rule. And as every time we turn up, we need to find one thing to make the place better than when we started. And it's not what we quoted. It's just one thing. And whether it be just blowing down a section that looked a little bit off, or putting the wheelie bins away for the customer. And I know people say, oh yeah, but that's costing money. 5 seconds doesn't cost money to put a wheelie bin away. Or if there's tufts of grass in the gutter, that's one of my pet hates, get rid of them. There's part of what I quote. I just say, I get rid of that grass in the gutter. There's no grass in your cracks in the driveway. It's the 1%ers that make the difference. And that's where we really believe and make sure quality comes in.
No, it's great advice and really good thing to hear as well, because I know in training it talks a little bit about that sort of stuff, and I hear other franchisees mention this stuff too, about put the wheelie bin in and things like that. So it's great to hear. That's what you do in your business, and seeing the photos at every job as well is really, really smart and good for your customers to see exactly what you've done and know when you've been and the quality of your work too, and that would definitely really help. So what's your plan then, Scott? You've had a great first 12 months. Obviously there's been challenges, but you've been able to really build a great business now, already with employees, which is very impressive. What's your plan for you? What do you hope to do with your business moving forward? Are you looking just to keep scaling more, or you want to try and condense more? You've got this new territory now, obviously you want to try and get more busier. So what do you want to do? Like, what's your vision?
Well, I actually got on this to retire.
I remember, you told me this at training. This is going to be your business before retirement. So you seem to be going really hard, a lot hard. It's not, so you're not.
I would go the opposite way.
Yeah, you're going 7 days a week.
I keep doing this 3 days a week, and now I'm working 5-7 days a week. And a lot of it's driven because of money. I'll be honest. Money's a great motivator.
Yes.
But so is having 5 kids and 8 grandkids. So it's
you're a granddad. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, I'm 8 times a granddad. Yeah,
I look pretty young, mate. So it's good.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm a bit older than what I like.
Yeah.
I guess, look, because I've just bought the new franchise, the next couple of months is about consolidation. Making sure the customers are happy with the transition from the previous franchisee to me. And we had a plan in place to allow that smooth transition. It's so far going well. The next part of that plan is that I want to move some of those customers geographically and condense the runs down to suit me and my business. Obviously, the previous franchisee had his model, but I now do need to make some small changes. So that will keep me occupied for probably 2 months, 3 months. And also as we move into winter, that transition about just making sure everything's balanced and the right workloads are there, the schedules are there. My staff, hopefully my full-time staff, have enough work to keep them employed and see them through back to the growth season. I had a chat with another franchisee today about what they're doing. And he said to me, would I be interested in buying his run in 12, 18 months? Martha said, maybe, but I don't think my wife will be. Honestly, I just want to consolidate, keep putting on new customers, keep the business plan going, keep making money. My long-term goal, you're going to love this, I want to retire overseas.
Yeah, great.
So I want to live 3 months overseas, 3 months here, 3 months overseas, 3 months.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which
country? That's
my goal. I've got 2 to 3 more years to put everything in place.
Yep.
To achieve that. I'll be 65 in that time. And touch wood.
Which country do you want to do?
I actually, don't shoot me, I actually love Indonesia.
Okay, nice. Yep.
Yeah, so I'll probably end up retiring in Indonesia. That would be.
Oh, great.
Yeah, well, 3 months there, 3 months here.
Yeah. And that's well, if you can do it, why not? I mean, a lot of people will be very envious and jealous and wanting to do that as well. So you're actually going to make it happen, which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is great. And I'm really happy to have you on, Scott. So thanks for jumping on today. I really do appreciate it. It's really good to hear, meet someone from training and then obviously hear where they are in the business doing so well already. And yeah, well, I do remember you saying this is your retirement sort of thing. And now I'm hearing you doing 7 days a week. You bought another territory. you're going berserk with it, which is good to hear as well. That you want to do that, you can do that, and you've been able to do it. So well done.
Oh, look at that. And to end this up, gyms is great, right? I mean, there's a video out there of why did I choose gyms, and I looked at every, I'll say the word bloody system out there. Whether I got a turnkey system, buy an existing business out there, whether I went to VIP or Fox, I looked at everything. Right? And I chose gyms because of, I guess, the name, the stability, the longevity that had been out there. No matter where you go, there's good, there's bad. And it's hard, but you've got to work. You've got to have a plan. You've got to work. You've got to grind. And you've got to create friends and mentors within the game. I cannot emphasize that enough. Some of the guys out there that have helped me tremendously, and I pass it on. Some of the guys out there with equipment, like they lent me equipment, I lent out equipment. There's this whole network. You've got to use this network. You don't need every tool at once. Go borrow equipment from someone. Go get help, subcontract to work out, create teams. The business will flourish. But it's hard, but it's there, and it's really rewarding with great customers. And I'll tell you now, financially, it's worth it.
That's good to hear. It's great to hear. And we'll leave on that note, but that's a really great way to end it, and some great advice as well. And I love hearing that because it's exactly what we want people to know, that if you work hard and you commit and you stick to it and you grind and you do what you need to do, and you make a go of it, you will make a go of it. So thanks for sharing that. We really do appreciate it.
Cool. Thanks for having me on, John.
Thank you for listening to the episode of the More Than Just Mowing podcast by Jim's Mowing. If you do need help with your local gardening expert, please give us a call on 131 546 for Australia, 0800 454 654 for New Zealand, or head to jimsmowing.com.au or jimsmowing.co.nz. If you liked what you heard, please make sure you leave us a review as well, wherever you consume your podcast. We appreciate your support. And until next episode, we hope you have a great week.